Okay, so now we're going to do exactly the same for our evening meals. So step number one is to get together with anybody else that you are responsible for cooking for, or anybody else that cooks your meals, because we need this to be a collaborative process. And I know that for some families that might be challenging, but it's really going to be worth the effort, whether it's an organized family get together or it's just casual conversations over dinner, even if it takes a few nights. What the goal is here is to get a list of 10 meals that everybody eats, everybody enjoys, you have time to make, or the person who cooks has time to make, and are adaptable for your goals. So we're going to write down a list of 10. You can have more, but 10 is a great starting point. And then in any given week, all you have to do is choose 5 or however many nights you're going to cook in the house from that list. Now, the good thing is we know that everybody eats these meals, everybody enjoys these meals, and whoever cooks has got time to cook them. But how do we adapt them for your goals? So what we want to do is choose meals that are adaptable. So let's say, for example, you love having a family fajita night, but you always feel stuffed afterwards. You don't know how many calories are in them. You don't know if it's taking you over your goals. And then because you've eaten a little bit too much and you feel your goals are a little bit off track, that can be really easy then to go on to overeat on the snacks later on that evening, because you get into that mindset of, well, I've already overeaten, so I might as well continue, which, as we know, is not the way forward, because if you dropped your phone on the floor and cracked the screen, you wouldn't continue to stamp on it until it was smashed. And that's how we have to think of our day. You know, it's absolutely fine if we drop our phone, if we have a high calorie meal. We do not need to smash it, okay? So what we want to do is therefore just check over, apply the exact same principle we've used for breakfast and for lunches to these evening meals. So grab something like MyFitnessPal, or you could just work it out from looking at the packet information. And let's say, with the same example, we're going to look at fajitas. So if you have 2 wraps, plus a chicken breast, plus guacamole, plus sour cream, plus cheese, plus salsa, plus tortilla chips, it could easily come to maybe 800 to 1,000 calories. Now, if you've calculated you've only got 600 calories for your evening meal, we're going to need to start shaving some of those things off. And luckily, fajitas are a really easy one. You can skip the sour cream, skip the cheese, skip the guac, skip one wrap, have one as a naked burrito bowl and one as a wrap. So we're not demonizing any particular food, we're just looking at what's available to swap and change. We want the veggies, we want the protein, the fats and carbs are negotiable. And the same with something like sausage and mash. Let's say your family loves sausage and mash and gravy, but you feel, every time I eat that, I don't feel like I've made a particularly good choice for my goals, and I feel like maybe it's a little bit too much and I'd really like to cut down on my processed red meat consumption. Well, while they've got sausages in the oven, you could have chicken sausages in the oven. Or you could serve yours with a small portion of mash and a big portion of veggies. They can have as much mash as they want. So what we're looking for is, remember that we always want the protein, we always want the vegetables. The fats and the carbs are what we can use to adjust the portion size. Again, like with sides, we could look for, let's say you love to have a curry night, but you have curry and rice and naan bread, and you feel a little bit like, maybe that's a little bit too much. So you can run the numbers through something like MyFitnessPal, and maybe you see it comes in at 1,000 calories, and you think, I've only really got like 600 to 700 for my evening meal. So what if I was to say, well, I won't take any rice and I'll have half a piece of naan bread. I can still enjoy the curry where the protein and the veggies are. I'm still getting to enjoy and eat with everybody else, but I'm making it work for me. When you do this, it's going to relieve so much stress, because you've got a plan that you're sticking to that feels good for your goals, but you're also still getting to enjoy and take part in the family eating. You're not cooking separate meals. You're setting a great example to your children, because you're not saying, oh, you know, I have to have special diet food, or I have to lose weight. You're not having any of those conversations around the table. You're just saying, I didn't just really feel like any rice tonight. I wanted to have vegetables instead. And that's an absolutely fine message for people to hear. So that is your goal from this video, to get the 10 meals together. And then if you need any help with adaptations, put them in the group and we can talk through how to adapt them. Okay, so finally we're going to do snacks, and then we're going to talk about overwhelm.